Today, we're counting down the top 10 junkyard engines you can actually throw boost at. No fantasy swaps, no trucks, just realistic finds that won't bankrupt you. We'll go through number 10 to number 1 for each engine, and I'll break down factory horsepower, which cars they're hiding in, and the boost numbers you can hit on a budget without crying in a parking lot. If you love cheap builds that actually make power, stick around, because some of these picks are actually going to surprise you. Let's dive into the junkyard and see what motors are secretly flexing under all that rust. Starting off with number 10, we have the Honda K-Swap engines, the K20 through K24 family. Factory horsepower, it does vary. The stock K20 2.0 liter in many Hondas makes 200 to 220 horsepower depending on the variant, and the K24 in some variants from 200 to 220 horsepower as well, again, depending on the generation. Where can you find them? The Honda Civic Si, Acura RSX, the Subaru WRX in some swaps, and a lot of JDM imports. Boost potential being realistic and on a budget, with stock internals and moderate supporting mods, 300 to 350 wheel horsepower is often possible on 20 to 22 psi with a good tune in intercoolers and injectors. Carry series engines are everywhere, strong aftermarket, light, and known to take boost with a good head flow. At number 9, we have the Nissan SR20 DET-SR Turbo 20. Factory horsepower, in its turbo variant, the SR20 DET made about 205 to 250 horsepower. You can find them in the older Nissans, the Silvia 200SX, JDM imports, and some CR-V swaps. I would say 300 wheel horsepower plus, with basic mods and a good tune, pushing around 20 to 28 psi, is not unusual in tuned builds if supporting mods are very solid. It's super compact, widely known in the big tuning world, and parts are everywhere. At number 7, we have the Toyota 2JZ GE the 2JZ GTE, especially the GE version, as a sleeper. Factory horsepower, the 2JZ GE, the non-turbo, made 215 to 225 horsepower. The 2JZ GTE turbo made 276 to 320 horsepower. You can find them in the Toyota Supras, the IS300s, and some of the Astro/JDM imports. The JE version is often a sleeper, the non-turbo block with strong internals. Realistic boost potential for the 2JZ GE can safely make a moderate boost and hit around 350 to 400 wheel horsepower with an upgraded head, injectors, fuel, and tuning. The turbo GTE variants with proper supporting mods can push well over 500 horsepower pretty reliably. Because the GTE is well known for boost, but the GE is a sleeper, and many people overlook it. It gives you kind of a hidden gem angle. At number 6, I have the Nissan KA24DE, the non-turbo. Factory horsepower is approximately 155 to 160 horsepower. It definitely depends on which one it is. Commonly found in the Nissan 240SX and varies between Nissan trucks. The realistic boost potential with proper tuning and supporting mods for the KA24DE can handle up to 300 to 350 wheel horsepower on stock internals. Some enthusiasts have reported achieving 400 wheel horsepower with upgraded internals and turbo systems. The KA24DE is also known for its robust bottom end and affordability, making it a popular choice for budget-friendly turbo builds. At number 5, I have the Ford 2.3 liter EcoBoost. Factory horsepower is approximately 270 to 280 horsepower, found in various models including the Ford Focus ST, Mustang EcoBoost, and Fusion Sport. With aftermarket tuning and supporting mods, the 2.3 liter EcoBoost can achieve up to 350 to 400 wheel horsepower. Some enthusiasts have also reported reaching 450 wheel horsepower with extensive modifications. The EcoBoost engine offers a balance of performance, efficiency, with a strong aftermarket support for tuning upgrades. At number 4, we have the Subaru EJ20 and the EJ25 turbo models. Factory horsepower is approximately 227 to 300 horsepower, commonly found in the Subaru WRX, STI, and Legacy GT models. With proper tuning and supporting mods, the EJ20 and the EJ25 can handle up to 350 to 400 wheel horsepower on stock internals, and some enthusiasts have often reported achieving 500 wheel horsepower with upgraded internals and turbo systems. The EJ series engines are also renowned for their performance potential, and they are a staple of the Subaru performance community and are super reliable. Alright, we're heading towards our top 3 right now. At number 3, we have the GM LS series, the LS1, the LS3, and the LS6. Factory horsepower is LS1 was 350 horsepower, the LS3 was 430 horsepower, and the LS6 is 405 horsepower. You can find them in the Chevy Corvette, Camaro, Pontiac GTO, Cadillac CTS-V, and older models. Stock internals can handle 450 to 500 wheel horsepower reliably with basic upgrades, and also 600 wheel horsepower is achievable and on a budget. They're lightweight, extremely common, and huge aftermarket and inexpensive swaps. The LS is basically just the king of junkyard boost projects. And at number 2, we have the Mazda BP, the MRZ engine for Miatas. Factory horsepower from the BP was 140 to 160 horsepower, and the MZR was 170 to 180 horsepower. You can find them in the Mazda Miata NA and the NB, or the Mazda 3 and the Miata NC. With turbo kits and supporting mods, the BP engines can reach about 250 to 300 wheel horsepower, and the MZR engines could reach about 300 to 350 wheel horsepower. They're small, lightweight, rev happy, and easy to boost on a budget. Plus, Miatas are everywhere in junkyards. And at number 1, taking the top spot, we have the Toyota 1JZ GTE. Factory horsepower was 280 to 320 horsepower depending on the market and spec. You can find them in the Toyota Chaser Mark II and the Astro. Stock bottom end can safely handle about 400 to 450 wheel horsepower on moderate boost, but built motors can easily surpass 600 wheel horsepower. The 1JZ GTE is a sleeper engine with insane reliability and tuning potential, affordable in junkyards and relative to the 2JZ GTE, making it the ultimate hidden gem for boost builds. And that's 10 junkyard engines that can actually handle boost without breaking the bank or your heart. Some of these choices are obvious, some are sleepers, but they all have one thing in common: absolute potential. If you're thinking, hey, I've seen worse engines take boost, you're not wrong, and maybe that's a list for another time. But if you want to deep dive into the 10 worst junkyard engines for boost, drop a comment below and I might just make the next video on that. If you enjoyed this one, hit the like button, subscribe for more budget builds and hidden gems, and let's keep hunting for more horsepower together. Thanks for watching Torque Savvy, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.